Nerd News is sponsored by FanQuest, a fan convention coming to Winnipeg. Go to fanquestcon.com for more information. You remember this theme, Kenton?
How could I forget it?
Well, now that Donald Trump has himself a new gig, they're looking for, I guess NBC is going to be launching the Celebrity Apprentice once again. It's coming back. We know, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the host. That was announced quite a long time ago, but they've actually now announced their cast for the show. Have you heard this yet, Kenton?
I have, and I also heard who's going to be producing it. Did you hear?
Who's going to be producing it? I don't
Donald Trump, the President of the United States.
Isn't that a conflict of interest? Can he do that?
It's just one of many. So at this point, they're just
it's like the least of our worries. Okay,
that's right.
Well, okay.
Well, the good news is he can't nuke anyone from his position as producer of the Celebrity Apprentice.
So among the celebrities, in addition to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's the host, we've got Brooke Burke, Boy George, Carney Wilson. Who else here? John Lovitz is on the cast. That might be fun to see him. Vince Neil, Snooki. One thing I'm noticing about a lot of these celebrities is they're all, a lot of them, I would say probably about half of them are reality TV show celebrities. So they're not famous for any other reason other than they've been on reality TV, like Snooki, like Layla Ali. I don't know who that is. So some of these people, I don't know. She's been on a reality TV show.
Must be a celebrities because it's Celebrity Apprentice.
It has to be. So anyway, that's coming back. That's going to be on in January, and I'll probably watch it. I have to say. I will not. I feel bad because I inadvertently supported Donald Trump when I was watching.
Me too. And I refuse to continue to do that.
But now that I know he's producing it, maybe not. So we'll see how that works out.
How many episodes before the President of the United States makes an appearance?
Oh, my goodness.
Give them the challenge.
You think?
Yeah. Today you're going to go to Syria.
Syria's great. They're a billion-dollar industry. I love Syria.
War is a billion-dollar industry.
You're going to go to Syria and you're going to figure out how to stop this war. And he's going to just give them the tasks. That's his new cabinet. That's what he's doing here.
Well, it's not far from the truth, actually.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on. It's fair to say that 2016 was not a great year. In many ways. People are talking about this all over the place. And
you're not really going out on a limb with this.
No, I'm not. And in one of the ways in which it was not a great year is concerning movies. There were not a lot of good movies that came out this year. And so looking forward, I think we've got a great year 2017 coming up because of a couple of trailers that have been released recently.
And also maybe a good end of 2016 in terms of movies because we've got, we get the Oscar bait at the end of the year. But then we also have a certain Star Wars film coming out next week.
That's right.
Which I have very high hopes for.
Yes, true. And then, of course, 2017, we'll see finally Episode 8 will be coming out at the end of the year. But last couple of weeks, we've seen trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Which will do very good. I mean, it can be subbed up into two words, Baby Groot. That's all you really need to know. Baby Groot is the whole trailer, and we're all very excited to see that.
Some great jokes.
Some very funny stuff. Yeah. And then last night on Jimmy Kimmel, we saw the premiere of the Spiderman Homecoming trailer.
It might actually be something that we have hardly seen at all, which is a good Spider-Man movie.
Well, we had two good Spider-Man movies before.
What were the two?
Well, the first two Sam Raimi ones were pretty good.
The second one only.
I thought the first one was pretty good.
Flimsy. Apparently in that one, he gets bitten by a radioactive spider.
It was not radioactive. It was a genetically altered spider, which caused huge issues with fandom. But no, I think this looks great. It's a homecoming. I'm sure the name has something to do with the movie itself, but it is also a homecoming for
that was Michael Keaton in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
I didn't know. I don't know if he is the Vulture. Clearly, that's the Vulture who's the villain.
To be.
Looks pretty cool. But it is a homecoming in that this is the franchise coming home to Marvel because it's now under the influence of Marvel Studios. I think Sony still gets some money out of the deal.
Of course.
But they're not in charge of production at all. So it's Marvel Studios producing it. So this is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, we had Spider-Man debut in Civil War last summer, and this is coming up this summer. It looks really good.
It actually looks like they took the complaints of the other films into consideration, and they made this one. So we have a teenage Spider-Man, which is new, which is good. And which Spider-Man always was in the comic book. And we have a villain we haven't seen before. We've got MGMT playing.
That was so good.
Time to Pretend.
I love that song.
Which is good. The implication being that he's pretending to be a superhero, which I love. I think that'll work really well.
I do too. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, good trailer.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next up, radio ratings came out for Winnipeg last week, and it's not a huge deal. We're not going to dedicate. We usually dedicate an episode to the ratings, but this time it was really not much of a change. CBC is still number 1, CJOB is still number 2, and then the rest of them kind of fall into line. It'll be interesting to see what happens. There were some format changes this past couple months, and I believe there is another one coming up. So we'll see what happens in the next book in, I believe, March is when the next book will come out. So I think we'll probably revisit that in March. But, it's just interesting. Overall, it seems the numbers are going down for radio. So I don't know if that means that less people are listening to the radio.
Of course, that's what it means. And as the demographic for radio gets older, that's what we will see. And as people embrace things like our podcast and things like that, it's of course
Right.
That's what you're going to see over time.
It's funny, when I saw this posted, it was from a friend who works at a radio station. They were very happy because their station was the number 1 FM station. And somebody commented underneath of it, does this include online listening? Because I listen to TSN 1290 in my car on my phone. I don't get that comment, but the person clearly had no idea how they measure this. And I replied to him, no, it's a percentage of the people who filled out their diary. So it doesn't matter where they're listening to it. If they listen to it, they fill out the diary, and that's how they measure. So
we have a colleague who got the full meal deal diary, the one you get $5, but it's 80 pages long or something, with all the demo stuff in it as well.
Cool.
So so those they're always circulating. You're not supposed to know who's doing them. Blah blah blah.
Right.
You get $5 for doing.
Everybody who does it tells me that they're doing it. So.
But
I wonder if that's interesting.
Every year, we talk about it in second semester of advertising in the class I teach. So every year, I do go heavy research into their research to sort of see what's changed and what's new. And Nielsen has changed virtually everything in the last year. So maybe we should probably do a separate podcast on how ratings have changed in the last year, because they are completely different. And Nielsen, there was lots of buzz about Nielsen being sort of going the way of the dodo, and some online thing like 538 or something like that makes stats their business taking over. And I think Nielsen took it to heart, and they made tons of changes. You can see every once in a while they release one of their, it's called a total audience report, and every once in a while they release it online, and you can see what they're doing for their clients. Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting.
YouTube's most popular creator has deleted his channel. Did you hear about this?
What?
Bieber? No, PewDiePie, who is a video game.
Yeah, that's Bieber.
That's Bieber. He is a very well-known video game YouTuber. He does videos of himself playing video games. Very funny to kids. And I don't let my kids watch him because he's not always appropriate. But he's been joining the kind of the chorus of dissidents from a lot of YouTubers lately who've been saying that YouTube is modifying its algorithm so that their videos are not getting as many views because of the way the discovery algorithm works. So this is a big complaint. So he, in one of his rants, he promised that if he were to reach, because he was trying to, he said if he reached 50 million subscribers, and he was pretty close at the time, he's in the 40-ish range, that he would delete his channel. And that's what he promised. And within a couple of days, he hit 50 million, and he deleted his channel. But it was the secondary channel. He didn't delete his main channel, which is where all the subscribers. He deleted his second channel, which was very, very, to the side. Like back maybe 5 years ago.
It's like us canceling Media Nerds podcast and then just doubling up on our Star Wars Nerd subscriber base.
Well, I mean, we would threaten to cancel Media Nerds, and then people would, or something like that.
There'd be an outcry of millions of people.
Right. Yes, very upset about us.
And then. And then we just continue on another channel. Maybe we should do that.
Oh, okay.
I threaten to pull Media Nerds podcast if we get 110 listeners.
We're already past that point, too bad.
I should pay more attention to that stuff.
You should set your sights higher. So anyway, I just think it's interesting. I mean, he says it was a joke. That's basically his answer to that. So I don't know if there's going to be any backlash, but certainly a lot of creators on YouTube are being frustrated as of late by the platform just kind of changing things on them without discussing it. This recent rule that says any videos with swearing or inappropriate content will not be monetized. A lot of YouTubers kind of bank on their brand having swearing and different stuff in it, so they didn't like that at all. And it's really tough. I mean, if you're Google, you want to make things better for advertisers, but you also have to you have all these awesome people making videos on your platform. So how do you please both sides, really?
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's interesting how that gets monetized.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting. And I'm sure they're looking. I mean, YouTube wants what's best for YouTube. Of course.
Yes,
And
which is money.
That's right, exactly. So it wouldn't surprise me if that flipped at some point, where it's like you pay us for the benefit of attracting more viewers and appearing in the recommendation engine.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
So-
there was the famous case where Netflix offered. I've probably got this wrong, but they offered a monetary sum to somebody who could come up with an algorithm to solve the Napoleon Dynamite problem.
What's the Napoleon?
Which is people who it's very confusing to know what to recommend to people based on their watching Napoleon Dynamite. And if you can solve that problem with an algorithm,
Why?
Because people who love dumb teen comedies like it, and people who love dumb teen comedies hate it. People who like smart indie films like it. People who like smart indie films hate it. There's a love-hate with Napoleon.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
they say-
anybody who hates that movie.
that they say is very pronounced, and it's a very difficult thing, but it's so worth their while to have a recommendation engine that works, that they're willing to put money behind
Wow.
people who can solve it. I don't know what the outcome of that was, though. So maybe
Okay,
on our next podcast,
we'll figure that out.
The New York
That's so funny.
Times, the New York Times had a really good article in their magazine on it at the time. This was already a few years
Just
ago.
you bringing it up makes me want to watch Napoleon Dynamite again. So I'm gonna
I
have to do
liked
that
it
this weekend.
too.
It's a great
I
movie.
like that movie, but apparently it's not the case. People feel strongly one way or the other.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And finally, how are you enjoying your iPhone 7, Kenton?
I love it.
It's a great phone. Very happy with
I
it.
actually had somebody ask me, why are your pictures so clear and beautiful
Oh.
on your social media? And I had not even noticed a difference myself. And I said, I have an iPhone 7, and the response was silence, because they probably didn't want to get one. It's probably,
Well, you know what? You might as well throw that thing in the garbage because people are already talking about the next iPhone.
yeah, I know how it works.
No, but this
In
is
two more
quicker.
years, this is a piece of junk.
Well, this is even quicker than usual. Like within months, like this is just from a few weeks ago. People are already excited about the iPhone 8. So Apple is skipping the S for there's going to be no 7S. Next year is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
Yeah.
Or 2017 is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. So they're putting a lot behind this iPhone 8. They say they're going to change the design. They're going to add some new features we've never seen. So everybody who's been complaining about Apple being kind of lacking innovation in the last few iterations of the iPhone, they're going to hopefully silence all those critics with this next one. And that's the one I'm going to get. I'm very excited. My contract is up, so I'll be getting myself an iPhone 8, and you're going to be green with envy.
Well, I probably will be, but you'll remember that. What was I dealing? iPhone 5 I had.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
Right,
I had
you
an iPhone
got
5.
every bit of-
yes.
yeah.
So I pushed it well past what I could, and I had to collapse and ended up getting this one. But I just saw recently that a whole bunch of people with iPhone 6 are complaining for the same reason I abandoned my iPhone 5, which is apparently the iOS is showing the battery dropping rapidly when in fact it might not even be the case.
Oh.
That's what was wrong with mine. So maybe there was nothing wrong with mine, as it turns
It just
out.
showed the battery dropping.
Yeah, so basically what would happen is it would say, I'd charge it and it would say 80%, and I'd go, I'm good to go. And then I'd look at it 1 second later and it would say 36%. I go, well, that's not good. And then I'd look at it about 10 seconds later, it'd be like 16%. I go, well, I can't keep going on with this thing.
Right.
But apparently that's a flaw in iOS.
Oh, interesting.
That people now in iPhone 6 and 6S, I think, are experiencing.
Wow.
So I
Well,
thought, well, I experienced it. I was at the tip of that curve. So that's ultimately what pushed me to get this one. But as it turns out, I really do like
No,
this
it's a good
one.
phone.
I like the lightness of it. I like the clarity of the photos. There's lots of good stuff
I'm just
about
hoping
it.
the iPhone 8 is going to be one we just implant in our head so we don't have to worry about it.
That'll
I
be
just have
9.
All right. Hold on, I'll get my notes here.
What else you got there?
Oh, that's it. That's all the nerd knows. That's all the nerd.
You know what you're reminding me of?
What?
The person at the beginning of Serial who mispronounces MailChimp.
I use MailChimp.
It's, right. It's what gets attention.
MailChimp.
That's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's all the nerd news for this week. Oh, stop laughing.
Sorry.
We'll
do it again.
That's all the nerd news for this week. Go to MediaNerdsPodcast.com for our full podcast, blog, and social media channels.
And how?